Hello, it's me, that divination witch. I hope you're all doing well. Today I am here with a response video. It is not my usual content, and you will notice it's not edited in the usual way. I don't feel it's appropriate for me to be all bubbly and promoting myself at the beginning. I'll put my info down below if you're interested still. But I'm doing this for Mother, for Hecate. So how do I put this into words? Well, first and foremost, I'm going to start that. Look, this is my opinion. It is not slander against the creator I am responding to. I do not condone slandering her. I do not condone giving her hate or anything like that. I am not going to do so myself either. At time of filming, Melinda, I believe her name is, she posted a video fear-mongering about Hecate. She says this is her experience, and I respect that. I cannot tell someone what they are experiencing, and vice versa. I wouldn't expect anyone to do that to me. So to each their own, of course. What I will say is, if you take one look at her channel is built on fear. It is built on controversy. It is built on instilling fear into people. This is my opinion, again, this is not fact, but I do believe that this person potentially has religious trauma they are still holding on to. It's giving me a Christian vibe. I've got nothing against Christians, but what I'm talking about are those who condemn others, who say everyone's going to go to hell. Because let's face it, Christianity is very fear-based, so it is giving that kind of vibe to me. I'm not saying that she is Christian either, but hopefully you get what I mean. Now, I was informed about this video yesterday, and I commented on her video yesterday, which you can see a screenshot of here. Even in my comment, you can tell I'm passionate, but I am not disrespectful, and I don't feel I'm personal to her in any way, because this isn't against her as a person, it's against the information she spreads, the fear she spreads. And I've thought of several ways to address this, and I think this is the best way I can. I don't want to be giving her more clout or views, or I don't want to be scaring other people or triggering people. That is not what I am about. I respect everyone's opinions, and not everyone's going to agree with me. I'm a little bit hesitant making this because she has a bigger following than me, and you know, I don't want to be in some sort of internet drama. It's funny because yesterday I did film 2 YouTube videos, and one was about ignorance in spirituality and situations similar to this, and it's things like this why I won't post on TikTok anymore. There's a lot of fear mongering and stuff like that. But I'm digressing, I'm rambling here, so let's get into it. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm not going to put any clips of her video up here. I don't want to do that. But I have her video on my phone, and I am going to react live. I am not really going to edit this video apart from putting up the screenshot of my comment, which you'll have seen already, and maybe another screenshot of something just to let you guys know what this something is, which I'll tell you in a moment. But yes, I don't even want to edit this properly. I just want to get it out there. So, like I say, this is my opinion. It is commentary. I am not slandering her. I am not, you know, being personal to her per se. My experience is mine. Her experience is hers. What I will say, like I've said, is that her channel is built on controversy and fear. That's how she's got a following. She does this quite a bit. I have opinions about her, of course, and I may express them, but this is not name calling, this is not bullying or harassment or anything like that. I'm just checking my notes as the important things I wanted to say at the beginning. You know, something that's real to her, I'm not saying it's not real, and I'm not saying it hasn't happened, because something that's real to her is real to her, whether it has been Hecate behind it or anyone behind it, or whether it was in her head or whatever, it doesn't matter, it was still real to her. And same goes for my experience is real to me. And I will also say that all deities have different aspects and sides to them. Hecate is no exception to this. Of course, she is known as Dark Mother, especially in the modern times. She is often lumped in with demons and things like this in the left-hand path. I've spoke about this several times on my channel. What I am trying to do is to dispel that, is to show that she isn't just darkness. It is natural to me that a being that is dark, considering the things she rules over, which is not just witchcraft, she rules over the dead and dealing with not so nice spirits and things like this. So of course she's got to be intimidating and scary. It comes with the territory. You're not going to cross over, you know, as a dead person to the other side and be met with, you know, fluffy unicorns. That's not how it works, you know. Think of Azrael himself, the angel of death, who is an archangel. He is feared, but it's what he does. Humans don't want to accept death. No one wants to die, you know, so it's natural in that regard. I will say as well, Melinda says she works with certain deities like Shiva, Ganesh, Isis, Horus, Archangel Michael. All of these deities have different aspects to them. They are not all right-hand path deities, right-hand path being good and light, left-hand path being evil and dark. Horus himself is known as a light bringer, a knowledge bringer. He is similar to Lucifer in that regard, and sometimes is mixed up with him, and sometimes he is a left-hand path deity. That isn't all he is, however. Of course, he is a saviour, and he is all these light things as well. And Shiva themselves, there is aspects of Shiva that are left-hand path. There is a sect of people that still follow Shiva and do very, very, very dark things, which I'll put a screenshot up here. This is a sect of Hinduism, like a cult-like following, I suppose, and not cult in the modern sense before anyone misinterprets that. Cult is in, it's a certain branch of religion, just like you have Protestants and Catholics, or you know, like a certain doctrine that they follow, let's say. They practice eating humans. They practice things to do with human remains, let's say. So yes, you know, how is that all love and light, please? Shiva is multifaceted. Shiva is a divine being. So there you go. There's an example of Shiva being dark. But yet Shiva is this saviour to this person, and this is my opinion and informational facts, just saying. So let's get into me reacting. So she starts the video.
You either allow me to work with you and I work with my other guys at the same time, or we don't work together at all. That don't work with me. And a lot of people are afraid of her. I'm not. And I told her that straight up. And I know that sounds so stupid. Like, some people can be like, whatever, Melinda, you can think that all you want. And this is not me bragging. This is not me making it out to be something that I'm not. I'm just saying, when I choose to work with a deity, it's because of the vibration of feeling like there's no pressure and there's no judgment. And more importantly, there's no control over how I learn.
Right, this is just the beginning, because this is how she's starting the video. Right, Hecate is an advocate for free will, in my opinion and in my experience. She is strict, however. There is a difference between strict and controlling. She would never ever force anyone to work with her. She would never force anyone to, you know, do things that they don't want to do, per se. She would never force anyone to just work with her either. She's all for learning from other people. She is an initiatory goddess, which means she gets people to where they need to be, and more often than not, she leads people to other deities and other paths that they're supposed to be on. And sometimes that can be the left-hand path, but that can also be angels. That can also be, you know, a god like Horus, for example. You know, just I'm using him because she works with him. It isn't necessarily a bad thing to have rules and discipline, just saying, but that's fair enough. Fair enough. You are gonna go with the deities you vibe with. Not everyone is gonna vibe with Hecate, and that's absolutely fine. Okay, but the tone of voice, the way she puts it across, a little bit arrogant in my opinion, but whatever.
That is a big, big red flag.
I don't see how that's a red flag. Again, don't see how that's a red flag when it's literally discipline. Yeah, yeah, whatever.
Work with a deity who controls what
She doesn't
you do,
control.
how you do it,
She
tells
doesn't
you
control what
to
you do.
Run
She
the
might tell you
other
what to do.
way. That
No.
is not the right way to learn.
Right, I'm just pausing on the intro. So she doesn't control every aspect of your life. Hecate isn't sitting here telling me, right, you must dress like this, and you must wear this makeup, and you must eat this thing, and you must do that thing, and you must do this for this person and that for this person. And no, it's not that level of control. If it was that level of control, do you think I would have so many issues as I do now? Do you think anyone would? No. So I'm skipping past, because I appreciate this might get boring, I'm skipping past her intro. I'm going to try and get to when she starts to properly talk about things, because I don't want this to go on forever and ever, I suppose.
To not want to work with evil.
Oh, what was that? Oh, hell no indeed.
Today is I'm going to discuss.
Oh, hell no indeed. What? Working with evil? I think I skipped too far. Who's to say Hecate is evil? Because she's dark. Does that make her evil?
News, and today we're
Right.
going to talk about Hecate.
Right.
Now, before I start, welcome. Thank you so much for being a part of this
Oh, blah,
channel
blah, blah.
and being a returning subscriber to me, because a lot of people have an issue with freedom of speech, of my personal opinion, especially when it is, for some weird reason, considered controversial.
Right.
To not wanna
Right.
work
Pause.
with
I get
evil.
what she means there. Just because her channel is built on fear, it is built on, you know, these controversial sorts of videos and topics. And some other deities she's made these videos about are demons, like Payman, Lilith, off the top of my head. Now, fair enough, Payman and Lilith are known as demons, hence I haven't reacted to that, you know. But she builds her audience based upon this. So what do you think's going to happen? You're going to rub somebody up the wrong way, you just are. But for me, yeah, freedom of speech, you're right. I've got nothing against that, all right. I do have things against the points you're making here because it's misinformation, but you do you, and you've still got your opinion and your experience. I'm not gonna deny you that. Anyways, yeah.
What we're going to do today is I'm going to discuss Hecate.
Right.
I don't like the hypocrisy. I don't like
The hypocrisy.
contradictions. And I certainly do not like to be told what to do.
Contradictions.
That's
Right.
just my energy. Okay?
Yeah, fair enough. Hecate doesn't tell you what to do in that regard, not in my experience. She may guide you, she may give you guidelines and rules, but that isn't forcing your hand. The hypocrisy, I mean, pot calling the kettle black here is what I would say. Considering some of the points she will go on to make and say here, but I digress.
I don't like it when people tell me what makes you a witch and what doesn't.
All right.
That's not your place.
You don't
to
have
tell
to
me
work with Hecate to be a
what makes
witch.
you a witch and what doesn't. I have
No.
received a lot of backlash.
There are Christian witches, there are atheist witches. Witchcraft is not a religion, it is not a spirituality, it's a craft. And of course there are love and light witches, and that's great. It takes all sorts to make up a world. Hecate, me, followers of Hecate are not saying she's not a witch. I am not saying she's not a witch. And I'm not saying that not liking Hecate means you're not a witch. Definitely not. Hecate may be a goddess of witchcraft, but she's not the only one. And her word is not the be all end all on witchcraft.
For even coming out as a witch, even about a year, 2 years ago. I frankly don't care what anyone thinks about
fair enough.
me, about my practices, about my spiritual
She doesn't
beliefs,
care.
about how I do my own thing.
Yeah, okay.
Because I consider myself more of an individual mind.
Yeah, that's fair enough. You've got your opinions.
With any ideology of any type, except with a moral compass and a moral code.
Moral compass? I mean, what is your moral compass?
When you
Wait, I talked over that. Do what thy will, but do harm to none. So that sounds wicked to me, but fair enough. She obviously believes in karma. I do too, to an extent. What goes around comes around. You're going to be negative. You're going to get negative backlash. That seems to me what she's gotten so far when she's complaining about people have a problem with freedom of speech. Well, no, just think, love, you're putting negativity out into the world. Even if it's about what you think is negative, you're being very negative about it. So what's the reaction? Negativity.
Others, good will come
Just saying.
to you. So I do firmly also believe in the energy of karma.
Yeah,
and not
fair
just
enough.
believe, but know it to be true, because I've learned a lot.
Yeah, I believe it's true.
I am not making this video.
There's times I've been an a-hole and things have backlashed me.
To change your point of view in working
Okay.
with her. I'm not making this video to shame anyone who works with her.
All right.
I think if you are drawn to her, you are drawn to her for a reason. When you learn things from her,
Sorry.
I think that's good. I also believe that when we learn for good in all areas, whether it's from pain and suffering or from laughter and love.
Right,
and
fair enough.
when we combine those energies, we create something so powerful, because we are all of those things. We are not just good, but we have a dark side. And I think that when we embrace that side
we have
of us,
light
that
and
makes
dark.
us more bountiful in energy and who we are. But I also firmly believe that we should never get lost in that dark side, because that can take the better of us and we can lose our truest compass of what is
right. Pause. No, we shouldn't get lost in the dark side, but we also shouldn't get blinded by the light. We need both. The universe is balance, and Hinduism and the devas, like Shiva, will tell you this. It's samsara, it's karmic cycle. So if you are, if you are all one thing, you're off balance. So I agree with the sentiment, but is she practicing the sentiment? I don't believe so from this video. But fair enough, she says you're drawn to her for a reason. Fair enough.
Right from what is wrong. What I'm going to share today is my experience with Hecate.
Okay.
Now, some people say her name is Hecate or Hecate. It doesn't really matter to me how you say her name.
Yeah,
so
whatever.
correcting me is not going to matter. I'm not going to read those comments. And this video is not to give
No one's corrected it to my knowledge.
Lesson 101
History
of this
lesson
deity. So if you're looking for that, go to another video, because that's not what this is going to be about.
Right.
This is about
so what
my
she
experience
says,
of why.
What she says, sorry, I pause. It's not history lesson 101. And it's her experience. All right, that's fine. However, we can't remove history completely from deities. Mythologies, theologies, we can't say they're 100% accurate. Of course not. But history is there for a reason, and it's led us to a point for a reason, We can't just say, it's an attitude of, in my opinion, right, well, I'm right, you're wrong, don't care. La la la, don't care. That's literally how it's coming across.
I will never work with her, and why I don't think other people should either. But again,
so it's her opinion again, and she's saying it's her opinion, and yeah, that's fair enough. But you've contradicted yourself there straight away, saying, I'm not saying you shouldn't work with her, but I think you shouldn't. Well, what is your opinion then? What is your opinion then? Should people work with her, should they not, in your opinion?
I've been told and informed by some people in the past, I won't say their names, who had worked with her. And I couldn't help but notice that a lot of these people who do work with Hecate are very dark vibrational people. They're very negative. They're very aggressive. They're not positive people. They're very toxic. I just couldn't help it.
I am the least aggressive person in the world. I get passionate, but I'm the least aggressive person in the world. Seriously, I'm going to spin my camera around. Am I this dark-sided that my computer wallpaper is Pokemon? Am I this dark-sided that I have an Eevee tattoo and love and like cute little things? And what? Just what? Am I this dark-sided that my notebook's a little cute narwhal? Really? Okay.
Notice that this seems to be a common theme for a lot of people who work with her.
Yeah.
Or who have worked with her.
I'm so nasty.
I have had an experience with encountering her and even trying to attempt to work with her. But the truth was, I refused to work with her after I tested her and learned quite a few things about her that...
In my opinion, okay, she doesn't have to work with her, and really, okay, you've tested Hecate, that's your experience. Well, who's to say Hecate hasn't tested you? Who's to say Hecate would even want to work with you with this attitude? I'm just saying, this is my opinion. If you are very closed-minded, fear-mongering, I'm right, you're wrong, then what are you going to learn?
I feel as a demonologist, other people are being deceived by her and by other people who just say, hey, follow her, work with her, just because that's what everyone says you should do.
No. I would never, ever, ever say that. I would never say you must work with her. Because if you want to be a witch, then you got to work with her. I would never say work with her because everyone else is. Definitely not. She is not someone to take lightly in that regard. She's got a lot of value and a lot of lessons she can help with, but to each their own. Not everyone is going to be drawn to her. That is not a narrative that I spin, certainly not. And to my knowledge, I haven't seen other people saying that. Just saying. Yeah, there are darker people that work with her. I can't ignore that. But even then, it's like, well, you've got to work with her. No.
Just because everyone does it doesn't mean you should, sis. Doesn't mean you should.
No.
Just because everyone jumps off a cliff doesn't mean you should. Doesn't mean you're going to sprout.
I don't know where she's getting this from, but okay.
Fucking wings. It doesn't mean you're going to suddenly learn to fly. That's not how life works.
No, it's
and
not.
That's not how truth works.
It's called being a sheep.
And that's not how wisdom works.
Yeah, it's called being a sheep, doing what other people want to do.
This and even saying you should work with hekate or you should work with Hecate or, you know, a lot of witches and people who identify.
I'm on here, by the way.
Pagans. I identify personally as a pagan, and I firmly
she's a pagan, so am I.
in a level as a light warrior, light worker, as a psychic medium. You learn, or at least I have learned, so many things about deities and about understanding the deception from malevolent spirits. A lot of the
pause. Right. Okay, yes, when you work with deities, you must use your discernment, make sure it's them you're speaking with. And like she said before in the video, your own personal moral code. You know, if you don't vibe with a deity, that's fair enough. Now, there are entities and spirits out there, malevolent spirits, some may call them demons. I think she is one that does that. But they will pretend to be deities to feed off your energy. They will pretend to be not just deities, but your lost loved ones, your spirit guides. They will trick you. They're called tricksters for a reason. The astral parasites, they feed off energy, fear, even positive energy they feed off sometimes. That's what incubus and succubus are. They feed off sexual energy. Now, this Hecate has more on her plate than feeding off someone's energy in that regard. To me personally, my opinion again, yes, she is dark, but it comes with the job role. You know, if you're a psychopomp, if you are dealing with dead people day in and day out, and some of those dead people, some of those lost souls are murderers, are bullies and nasty people, then you're gonna have to be a badass to whip them into shape. You know, she's got more on her plate than feeding off us like that. To my knowledge and opinion, she is a primordial being. She is, I can't even put it into words. She's been here since the beginning of time. She's the divine feminine. She doesn't need to feed off us.
Times people are so easily duped in these lies.
Yeah, okay,
People are so
lies.
easily
What makes it a
deceived
lie,
by
Melinda?
these deities.
I'm just saying what makes it a lie. This is your opinion and this is my opinion. But what makes this a lie? What is right and wrong? If it's all opinions, what is truth? You've said it's not history 101 and you've said that you're not going off history. So what is a lie then, Melinda? I'm just saying.
That are worshipped
What you going on about?
consistently, especially within the pagan or witch community, or even in the psychic community. I've worked heavily, and I still work with Horus, with Egyptian goddess Isis, with Shiva, Lord Shiva, with Ganesha, with Archangel Michael, and with many other types of deities. Have worked with Parvati, who is also in transformation of Kali. Even when it comes to Kali, her perspective of that, I don't agree with it. But do I adore the side of Parvati? Absolutely. She's lovely in every way.
Yeah, so just to say on that, she adores Parvati but not Kali. Kali is destruction, Kali Ma. She is death, she is the dark feminine. What she is saying with that is she likes her light side. And that's fair enough, that's what she resonates with. But does that mean Kali is evil? No. Does that mean Parvati is you know, the only one you should work with? No. Tell that to the thousands, millions of Hindus out there that worship Kali. We need tough, badass people sometimes to get stuff done and to fight off the true evil. Just saying.
So far that I cannot ignore that I feel people deserve to know the truth. One thing
What
I
is the
have
truth?
learned as a medium.
Pause. What is the truth? Because again, this is meant to be opinions. So what is the truth here? What is right and wrong here?
Is if you
It's
just
her
take
truth.
verbatim what spirits will tell you, you're in trouble. Spirits
Alright,
will tell you
yes.
what you want to hear. They're not going to tell you the truth all the time. Oh, well, he seems nice or she seems nice, and yeah, they're kind of a part of hell, but they don't really align with that. They don't really enslave people. That's a lie. That is a lie.
Alright, who is she on about here? Who is she on about here? They're not really a part of hell and don't enslave people. Is she on about Hecate here? Who's she on about? Yeah, there's some demons she spoke about on her channel that do absolutely punish and enslave people. That is part of their job role as well, just to say. Even the darkest demon are there for a reason. It doesn't mean they've got our best intentions at heart. I'm not defending that, but what I am saying is, you know, they're multifaceted beings. She's just gave an example, Kali and Parvati. You know, they're multifaceted beings, light and dark sides.
And you believed it. There are a lot of people who believe it. And it's really sad because it's such
I
an
don't
easy
believe
way
it.
to
I
be
work
deceived.
with Lilith. I know for a fact Lilith to me is lovely. She helps me be strong. I don't shy away from the fact that she is a demon and is known as a demon. I feel she's more than that. She is a goddess in her own right too. That's my opinion though, isn't it? Not everyone's going to think that. I don't for one second think that she is all love and light and that she doesn't hurt people. She does when it's justified to her own justice, I suppose. What makes that right? Well, that's for her to decide. It's like us, we have free will, so does she. You know, I'm not going to say that Lilith doesn't harm people, or, you know, there could be some people out there that she has enslaved, if she wants to put it like that. Who knows? But who knows that Shiva hasn't done that, or Horus asserted their justice? What makes their word more authoritative than Lilith's or Hecate's or whoever's?
It's such an easy way to be fooled by a simple, oh, I don't do that. Oh, I'm being misunderstood.
Yeah.
But they align with that. Why would they align
Blah, blah,
with
blah, blah,
hell?
blah, blah, blah.
Why would they align
Sorry.
with evil? demons and devils, for example, if they're so misunderstood,
No, they're not misunderstood.
why would they still align with that, though?
They're not misunderstood.
When I was encountering Hecate, it was with Shiva, with the guidance and assistance of Shiva. It was in this different realm.
Pause before we get into that. The demon misunderstood thing. No, I mean, Lilith, prime example. To me, she was created equal to Adam in that regard, if you go off this mythology. And she didn't want to be subservient. That doesn't make her misunderstood. Doesn't make her wholly bad, but she may have done very bad things to get her own justice and things like this. I mean, I think of some other people she's made videos of, like Payman, for example, and I don't know a heck of a lot about him, but I know I went back and looked at some of her videos. I know she's made a video about him and said how evil and things he is. I have never worked with him, so to each their own. I'm sure that he does evil things and he aligns with that, fair enough, or what we would think are evil things. But I'm sure there are people out there that he is fond of and helps. Just saying. I think of Yahweh. I think of the Christian god Yahweh. He was once the Canaanite war god. He is Michael's dad. He is lovely to some people, his followers, and yet he's slaughtered millions of people as well. That's what the Promised Land is, and you know, all the Egyptian children he slaughtered, and yeah, there you go, Egyptians, and she's worshipping their gods. The Egyptians kept the Israelis as slaves, and their gods did, and you know, if there's good and bad everywhere here, I'm just saying. But again, she's apparently not going off history, so okay, I'm getting on a tangent here.
Experience. And I astral project. I'm an adamant astral projector. I astral project pretty much almost every day. Some days I take breaks. My guides help me to chill out.
I need to just get comfortable.
Because it can make you very sick if you do it too much.
Yeah,
when
it
I was
can.
with Shiva,
You've got to be grounded.
Hecate and asked about her, and especially it's the fact that, you know, a lot of people talk about, you know, her within witchcraft and within magic, and that she will help you in your witchcraft.
Yeah, there again. Hi.
You have to be really serious, and you have to be really into it. But I also couldn't help but notice a lot of people in these YouTube videos and their experiences that they always said the same thing, which I thought was a red flag. And they always kept saying the same thing, which was, you got to be careful about how and what you say to her, because she reacts and she can be very easily offended, basically. That's the politest way to say it. Or defensive. So if you...
I don't think I've said that, ever. And I'm one of these people in the videos. I have said to show her respect, but I would say that about any deity. And what sticks in my mind is the white candle thing. I know personally she's not really keen on them as an offering, as lighting a white candle for her, because white candles are more aligned with lighter beings per se. And if you have the means, if you have other candles, or if you have the money to buy other candles or make a candle of another colour, then she's very much like, well, you know, if you don't put effort in with me, then I'm not going to put effort in with you. That's the vibe I get from her. But that's the same for any deity. Show them respect. Show that you're willing to put in time and effort. If you want something out of this, if you want spiritual growth out of this relationship, whether it's Hecate, even if it's Shiva or anyone, well, you've got to give. You've got to give your time and effort to them. You know, it's like saying to your friend, all right, do me a favour. Not many people are going to be completely selfless with that, you know. That might be the first occasion or the first few occasions, but then eventually they're going to tire. They're going to think, well, this person's taking advantage of me. You know, I'm doing all these favours for them and getting nothing in return. Like even Shiva or Christian God or whoever, even if you pray to them, you know, you're making effort. Like if someone goes to church, you're making the effort to dress nice, go to church, travel there, get out your house, you know. It's just small gestures. It's a sign of respect. It's not a sign of her being touchy. It's a sign of respect.
You even disagree with her or have a questionable
no.
interaction,
No. I was afraid at first because of things like this, and I got rid of her entire altar when she first reached out to me. I made an altar for her. It was a mini little thing. I got afraid and I got rid of it. I'm still living and breathing. I'm still alive. She wasn't angry. It's when someone is disrespectful knowingly, is a knowing a-hole, then I think any god is going to be like, well, ugh. But even then, she's not out there smiting people and things like this. There are so many fear-mongering stories. I think sometimes people want to sound like a badass and say that she haunts their home and all this stuff. And I've never had that in all the years I've worked with her. Never. And that's why I started this YouTube channel, to dispel all this stuff like that. I agree to an extent with Melinda here that it's a red flag if people are saying things like that. But she's not petty. And no gods are petty in my experience. Not like that.
Off, basically. That was definitely a red flag. I don't know about you, but if someone were to introduce me to their boyfriend or girlfriend and they say, oh, just be careful about what you say to them,
well,
they kind of go off the rails.
She's right.
Wouldn't you think that that's a toxic relationship?
Yeah, that is toxic, but she's not like that.
That's okay. I don't know if that's healthy.
No, it's not healthy.
Red flag, right? You would think that that would be people's reaction. You would think that people would be like,
but where are you getting this from?
You could learn a lot about magic. You could learn a lot about spirituality, whatever. But if they're getting all pissed off at you, angry at you, easily offended, shouldn't that be something you should be worried about? And that's something that I've learned as a demonologist when I have interacted with demons because of hauntings of my clients in the past. I've been taking a break on that because there's been so much healing that's had to be done when you do that kind of work.
Can I just say, she keeps saying about demons in this, and that's fair enough. She's had these experiences with demons and helps people with them, and that's her opinion and whatever. But she keeps bringing up demons, and Hecate isn't a demon. So it's irrelevant in a way. Just saying.
People in the paranormal, it's very detrimental to your health. It can really do a number on you. But what I learned from those experiences, all those clients and those hauntings, is that you can't listen to what they say to you and to face value.
Well, no, that's
say,
tricksters
that's
and negative entities. So she's right, that's tricksters and negative entities.
Off what they're giving, and feel that energy. That's the truth. Mm-hmm. So if a spirit comes up to you and tells you they're safe, but they're making you shake and you're uncomfortable and you're nervous and you feel like you have to walk on glass, walk around eggshells, if you're always worried about what you say, that's not true power from a deity. That's fear. And that's...
Right. Yes, to an extent I agree. Always trust your gut, even if it's with Hecate. If you're not comfortable, don't do it. Never force yourself to do it. And Hecate would never force you, even if you were that afraid of her in the ways she describes there. She wouldn't force herself upon you. She would be around, but if you were adamant and said no, well, she's going to leave. She is not that desperate for followers. Like, half the time as well, when you are following her, her name itself means works from afar. She's not always in your face 24/7. And just to say as well that she is this dark goddess because of her link with death and being a death goddess per se. Of course she's gonna have energy that people are afraid of because we're afraid of dying. So if you're a newbie, I wouldn't say she is for newbies per se in that regard. If you're that fearful, don't force yourself. So she is right to an extent there. Don't force yourself, and listen to your intuition. What's right for one isn't always right for another.
Fear that they are putting in your energy on purpose.
It's not on purpose.
That's who they are, and that's what they want.
It is who she is, but she doesn't want you to feel that way. And most Definitely, she does not want people to feel fear. She is the most loving and compassionate deity I've ever met. She saved my life. Trigger warning, but I didn't even want to be here anymore when Hecate came to me. And I prayed to angels. I prayed to Christian God. I tried to find a sense of belonging somewhere before Hecate. And nobody answered. And nobody helped me. And it was her. She helped me. She picked me up. She gave me strength. She showed me the way. And she gives me a reason to live. And she gives me a reason to keep going. If that was someone evil, why would they do that? Surely they would just let me suffer.
Are benevolent deities where I could even feel the energy of feeling intimidated, shy, but never do I ever feel fear or threatened in any way by...
Pause. I was once afraid of an angel who's meant to be benevolent. Words. I've told the story on my channel before. It was my own fault. I was disrespectful to Raphael, who is my archangel guardian. And he whooped my ass. He put the shits up me. He scared me. I was like, whoa, that was my fault. I hold my hands up. I was ignorant and I was rude. That's why. And that's happened to me. So I'm just saying.
Shiva's presence, Ganesha's presence, Archangel Michael's presence,
Yeah.
Isis, Osiris,
I know.
Horus,
So she's
Anubis. Never have I
Anubis.
felt threatened in any way by their presence.
There you go.
Even
I
when
mean,
I'm
I've met
constant-
Anubis. I've met Anubis several times, and Osiris, both death gods. I have this similar feeling as to what I have when Hecate is around. It's a bit like, oh, very intimidating. Some may interpret that as fear. I don't see what the difference is.
How would I be upset? People would be like,
But
"Why'd
it's
you cuss
her
him out? I'm
experience,
human." I
her
lash
opinion,
out.
whatever.
It's my fire sign. It's not an excuse.
Alright, she
it's an
cusses people
explanation.
out. Yeah,
I
fair enough.
apologize. We heal. We move forward.
Right,
And I
okay.
learn. And I love them for that. I love their tenderness and their
Well, Hecate does that
empathy.
for me, though. That's my experience. I'm not invalidating what she feels with these other deities. That's what I feel with Hecate. She understands no matter what. I've offended her. She forgives. She doesn't hold grudges.
And understanding and their wisdom and their patience and forgiveness.
I haven't
When
met
I
a deity as more
Hecate,
patient as Hecate. Just saying.
that was a different story.
And
But when
can I just say she's used artwork off a Luciferian book. There are artworks out there of Hecate that are so loving and light. She has used one of the darkest artworks there is.
first encountered her, after I had talked to Shiva about her, he did warn me. He said she does have hounds with her. I said, I've heard about that. People say they're hellhounds. Is that true? He said yes and no. I don't listen to myths of what these
Right, she doesn't listen to
historians
myths.
say about whatever. Some of it's true, but a lot of it's not. But some of it is. It depends. Shiva had explained that these
Can I
hellhounds...
just say the myths? Some of it's true, some of it's not. It's more a case of there are lessons to be learned from mythologies and theologies. It didn't always go down 100% the way it did. It's more that something like that happened. What can we learn? It's a parable. That's what mythologies are.
were basically, or one in particular, was based on this one person who was tortured and sent to hell. Hecate decided
that's
to
not right.
transform her into a dog. And
No, so the hellhound she's talking about, I've done a video about her, is Queen Hecuba. She was the queen of Troy, and the Greeks won, and the other gods, there's several versions of the myth, go check out my video, but the other gods wanted to punish her, and she was going to have a horrible life and a horrible afterlife. So Hecate turned her into a dog to be a loyal companion, and give her a bit more of a better afterlife than she would have had. So she wasn't a nasty person. It depends on your opinion. I suppose she was a queen. She was just on the wrong side of a war.
bring her back to Earth or wherever she was at to get her out of hell. There's other stories, backstories about it, but I really don't give a shit about those
No,
backstories.
alright, that just shows your
Try to,
attitude, sorry.
correct me, cool.
Correct me, cool, whatever. Okay, you don't give a shit. That just shows you've just said one line that sums up this entire video. You don't give a shit.
Good for you, but I really don't care. When you get lost on those stories, you lose the sight of the truth. You lose the sight of the facts.
Well, the truth and the facts are actually opinions. Okay, but taken away, imagine I didn't know this story and Hecate's dogs are there. I might feel intimidated, because what are dogs for? What are dogs? So they're man's best friend, but they are also guards. They are guard dogs. They are vicious when they want to be, but they are loyal and they are protectors. So to me, as a woman who deals with the dead that are dickheads, she needs protection.
Based on these deities and their overall agendas and their narratives and their motivations. And what I couldn't help but notice when I was interacting with Hecate was encountering her presence, but also looking at her attire. It was fucking weird. She is cloaked and very gray, dark colors. She almost looked like...
I'm sorry, just the way, again, it's her opinion. She was fucking weird. Wow. How ignorant is that? Like, it's fucking weird. You could say Ganesh is fucking weird for looking like an elephant. You could say Horus is fucking weird for having the head of a bird. Are you joking? That's so disrespectful.
A person who's constantly in mourning, like in a funeral.
Well, of course she is, because it's darkness and death, and she deals with the souls that don't want to move on, that are kicking and screaming. So she's the Grim Reaper.
There was some part of me where I wanted to see the beauty in her, but it was very difficult to do so. But then there was also moments where she would show me her truest beauty, and she was fantastically beautiful. But there was still this energy that made me feel so small. Now people will say,
well, she's a goddess.
especially
I feel small in the presence of any deity. Just saying.
people in the spiritual community, they'll say something like, "Oh, that's just you mirroring yourself, and
No,
that's how you
I'm
feel
not
towards
saying.
her." Trust
No,
me,
no,
I
no.
thought about that. That was the first thing I was trying to address. But then at some
No,
point,
she's not
I
mirroring
started
herself.
having
It's how she is.
horrendous visions, horrible visions of things that she had done to people,
Right.
of things that she had done to spirits, things that she had committed. Now, not everything, but quite a few things that I didn't know what I was seeing, but it was almost like permeating evil energy that I could feel. And
My opinion on this, this is what she says she's experienced, fair enough, but my opinion is, again, Hecate deals with the evil, nasty spirits, the ones that don't want to move on and attach to the earth and are not so nice. So if she is showing visions like that, well, what is evil? It could be the spirits, and it more than likely is to me. And the punishment of the spirits, she drags them kicking and screaming sometimes. If you're a murderer, you're not going to be a nice person, and you're not going to want to cross over.
it was like memory flashes in my mind that weren't my
I'm just
memories.
conscious of the time as well. My camera
The
battery.
only time that happens is when I'm in the presence of a demon or devil.
All right,
Or there's
demon or
some
devil.
type of
So
low
this is
vibrational
her
spirit
opinion,
that
low
feeds
vibrational.
off of people and their suffering.
Yeah,
or
and then
off of
on the
spirits that are
screen she's
suffering.
got a
This
psychic
was a
defense
huge red
book.
flag to me. I can't
I'm just saying, she's
express
selling
how
herself
much
on
of a red
this.
flag. Like, I
My
felt it in
opinion,
heart.
opinions,
and so I
opinions.
spoke to Shiva about this, and I said, I don't know what it is, but there's something about her that doesn't
I'm not
make
even
sense to me."
monetizing
And
this
then he
video,
said,
just to
"You
say.
came from Christianity in the beginning." I said, "Yeah." He said, "There is some truth to it. Do you remember what it was?" I was like, "Well, I'm not sure where you're going with this, but what?" He said, "Test her. If there's something about her that you feel doesn't sit right with you in how you feel, test her. Don't feel bad about it.
Okay.
Test her." And so I took that advice, and when I went to her, I brought up something because I couldn't help but notice about her keys. She was draped in these keys, and she loves keys. And I thought, one, that's weird. Why are you collecting a bunch of keys? But then I started asking her questions.
Pause. The keys. She's the keeper of the keys. The keys, yes, of knowledge, which she will go on to say, but she is the goddess of crossroads and boundaries. She is the goddess of the liminal space, the space between life and death, whether that is dealing with the dead, like I've explained several times, or whether that is dealing with birth. She is a goddess of childbirth as well. She unlocks the keys to life and to death. That's the keys. It's symbolism.
And she started getting really kind of pissed off about it. I did ask her about
Pissed
her
off,
moral compass.
okay.
And I asked her specifically, do you believe in cursing people? And she said, well, yes, when they deserve it. And I
Right.
said, who gives you the judgment to decide that? And she said, I'm always the judge of that. She said something along those lines. She said other things.
She's a goddess of justice, yes. Now, I believe all deities are extensions of the source god. They are management. Deities have the power to decide for themselves what is right and wrong, and what their moral compass is, as this girl puts it. Now, who's to say that Hecate's moral compass is any better or worse than Shiva's, or Ganesha's, or Isis, or whoever? It's hypocritical to be saying what gives you the right to pass judgment, and then you pass judgment yourself, even in this video. We all pass judgment, whether we want to or mean to, because that is built into our psyche and is built into the universe. We all have opinions, and clearly you've got yours. So Hecate has hers as well. Just saying.
It's better than how I'm saying it here, that's for sure. But and I'm also seeing in my head, I'm hearing in my head, I'm being heavily protected because she's gonna be super pissed off about this video. She's very, very mad about it already.
No, she's not. Just saying, in my opinion, she's not. There's so much misinformation out there about her. If anyone's mad, I was mad when I first saw it. I was upset. It felt like a personal attack, even though it wasn't. But this is my feelings and opinion. But Hecate saved my life, like I've explained. She has been the most motherly mother I've ever had. I love her so much. So it's like if your mother, who is your best friend and your everything, your world, is getting attacked, then you do get upset over it. It's human instinct. It's a reaction. Hecate herself don't give a shit. Just saying, she doesn't. I started this channel as a dedication to her, but really, she doesn't give a shit. As blunt as that is, you know, people can call her evil and dark. She's been called that by so many other people, and people can say that, you know, she is a demon and whatever, and you know what? So what? That's the vibe. She's above it all. She's a goddess. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to her. She doesn't need glory. She doesn't need all this fanfare and whatever. I'm conscious of the time because my battery's running out. Oh, crap.
She seemed to always have some kind of an egotistical answer. Something
egotistical answer.
Seemed kind of like entitled.
Entitled.
Like she felt like this is what I think should happen, and that's why I do it. And I believe everyone.
My opinion is the one with the ego here. You know, but fair enough. She thinks that about Hecate, whatever.
Their own judgments.
Yeah.
And I also believe everyone's entitled to their own experiences and feelings and their own justifications of what they feel. I do not believe in causing harm to another just because you think they deserve it. There's a time and place for those kinds of situations. Like if someone came into your home and broke into your home and they started attacking your family, I do believe you have the right at that point to attack them back.
Just to quickly pause, that's a contradiction in itself. So you don't believe in harming anyone, but then you give an example where you do believe in harming someone. Make it make sense. It's a contradiction. My comments she never replied to, and I think I've gotten blocked. But I gave a example in the comment of your family being unalived. You would want revenge. Any normal human would. Even if that's giving them the evil eye, doesn't a curse isn't always like something, a spell sort of thing, you know? It's a contradiction.
Protect your family. I believe that. That's not what a curse is. A curse, to some people, they think is justification. But the truth is, more than half the time, people identify revenge with karma. They're so blended together, people can't identify the difference. They get blurred, you know? And
No. Karma will happen no matter what. It will. I do believe in that. But you've just contradicted yourself again, saying that if someone attacks you, you can attack them back if they're breaking into your house. That's not blurring karma. The karma will still happen on that person, and it could still happen on you for attacking them.
people can't see it. They can't identify the difference anymore, especially in magic. I told her, I said, you know, karma does come back, and I do believe in karmic spells to enhance the karma to come. But there's a difference between karma and a curse. A karma spell, for example, is when a person does a spell to make an equal equivalence to
It's
occur
justice magic.
that would justify the exact
It's return to
repercussions of
sender.
what that person did to you. In other words, you don't decide what
Which
that
is
karma
normally
going
what
to be. You allow the
I do
universe
with
to
Hecate.
choose that. And it does work. I've done it.
Yeah.
And it's very powerful. And
Yeah.
some people would say, well, that's not any different from a curse. Yes, it is. Because a curse is where
No.
a person is choosing the repercussions of
No.
what they think is justifiable.
No,
When
no,
more
no.
than half the
That's
time,
not what a
their
curse is.
personal anger and their ideology becomes clouded.
A
with
curse
revenge.
can be
And
many
more than half the
things.
time, that's where karma comes back to bite them in the ass.
And
for
yeah,
giving them
if it's
unjustified
exactly.
curses first.
I mean, she's right with that. If you curse someone unjustified, it will bite you in the butt. It really will. But a curse is many things. I'm trying. My battery's going to run out on my camera, so I'm trying to be quick.
Something as simple as they just don't like them. I've seen it.
Yeah,
seen
there's petty people who do that. Hecate doesn't agree with that. She doesn't. She does not agree with cursing people for no reason. That is not Hecate. So what she is talking about is true, and yes, it's irresponsible, but it's not what Hecate would agree with. Hecate wouldn't agree. She wouldn't agree with people cursing people for no reason. Definitely not.
In existence, in totality, and how you behave towards others is the repercussions and also the energy frequency. That print will be there for everyone else to see of who you are.
So just to say that print of the energy and the karma of what you put out there, when she said at the beginning of the video she's shadow banned and all this, because her channel's built on negativity, what do you think's going to happen, Melinda? Karma?
And if you allow that negative energy to consume you and to take over your decisions, you're no better than demons. You're no better than the devils. And you're no better than Satanists who work in black magic and demonolators who work with demons and devils. And the more disappointing part is when I asked Hecate about those
Hecate
keys.
said yes to cursing to you, but she never said unjustified, did she? And well, at least you've never said that in your video, so I don't know what point you're trying to make there. Yes, curse people when it's justified.
She made it very, very apparent to me, and this is where a lot of people don't know this, but the keys are symbolic, and whether people want to accept this or not, she's gatekeeping the truth and the knowledge of magic. Why do you think a lot of witches feel like they can only go to her and they can't work with anyone else besides her? She even informed me of that at one point. She was like, you can't work with anyone else besides me because I want you to hear me. I want you to focus on me.
Well, that's not just a Hecate thing. A lot of deities want exclusive time to help you with their lessons, and Hecate is an initiatory goddess, so she's not going to just hand knowledge to someone who is an amateur, to someone who is a beginner. It's like giving someone a bomb and then saying get on with it, and no instructions on how to properly set the bomb off. They're going to explode themselves. Just saying.
I was like, God damn, chill. That's a little extreme. And she was like that. And that right then and there, I was like, you're already going to lose me.
Well, that's fair
not
enough.
how it works for me. You either
Fair
allow me
enough.
to work with you and I work with my other guys
And
at
that's
the same
fine.
time.
Don't
We
work with her then.
together at all.
You didn't have to put
That
this
don't work with
video
me.
out. You didn't have to say all this. You know, not everyone's going to gel with every deity. I don't gel with several. But you don't see me making clout chasing videos.
And a lot of people are afraid of her.
There's nothing to be afraid
and I told
of.
her that straight up.
And that's arrogance, in my opinion.
Like, some people can be like, whatever, Melinda, you can think that all you want. And this is not me bragging. This is not me.
You've got nothing to brag about.
Be something that I'm not. I'm just saying, when I choose to work with a deity, it's because of the vibration of feeling.
And that's fair enough. You
no
and
pressure,
keep doing that,
and
Melinda.
No judgment,
and everyone.
I
agree.
No control.
Do what you feel is right. Trust your instinct.
That's a really big red flag for me. When you work with a deity who controls
any deity worth their salt is not gonna. I'll just have to turn it down a little. Every deity worth their salt is not gonna give you all the knowledge straight away and let you explode like I said. Any deity, if they genuinely care about you and your progress, they're not going to do that. They're not going to give you the keys to self-destruction.
I see people all the time saying, oh, I had to read all these books, and I had to do all of this, and I had to do all of that. That is not what true magic, to me anyway, is all about. Now, if it works for you, cool. Don't get me wrong. I do a lot of reading. I do a lot of research. But at the same time,
true magic is knowledge, but also yourself. However, you need to stay grounded with it. You need to stay grounded with it. You could run at 1,000,000 miles an hour, like something like this, fearful, or something where you think you're badass and untouchable and all dark, or something like so toxic positivity light. You've got to practice discernment and yes, read the books. It's a healthy balance.
Affirmation of goodness
with anything in life, just to say, with anything in life, you can read it in a book. You can learn about being a surgeon in a book. Does that make you a surgeon? No. So you do need both.
Escaping those boundaries and breaking them open to flourish in your life here on the physical plane to such a degree that you could never imagine. People think it's impossible. I don't. I'm a testimony here. I'm alive because of it. I'm alive because these deities help me to live my life in a better way.
Yeah, that's great. And Hecate helped me in that same way.
And to be a better part of who I am. And to learn how to do that for other people as well. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes all the time. But that is one of the most important lessons and wisdoms I've learned, is to allow people to be who they are and to not tell them what they can and cannot do.
And yet you're telling people not to work with Hecate. Just saying.
But you don't push yourself on people. You let them come to you.
And that's what Hecate does.
If you choose to work with Hecate, cool. Good for you. But that's not for me, babe. That's not for me. I don't feel like working with a deity just because everyone says you should is the right path. Just
my battery's going to run out, guys. So I'm going to stop it here. I was 5 minutes away. It's going to run out. This is my reaction, my response. I'm just going to put it up like this. Look, practice your own due diligence. Listen to your own intuition. But please, 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 whether it's this lady, anyone else, look, don't take someone's word as gospel here, and don't listen to the fear mongering. It's BS. In my opinion, it's BS. It's founded on someone's opinion, and they're a clout chaser. That's literally it. I'll be called a wicked witch for this. She's done that with other people. I've noticed. I am not wicked. I am not evil. I do not want to hurt anybody. I just want to do my thing, spread my word about Hecate, live my life, help people. That's it. So, until next time, stay safe, stay witchy, whatever I say at the end of a video. This is not my normal stuff, but I couldn't just not say something about this. Hecate saved my life. I love her so much. She is the most kind and compassionate goddess ever, and I love her with all my heart. Thank you, Hecate.